Man, oh man, it is a lot going on in the world of Caitlin Clark. New sponsorships to the left, new deals to the right. It's a lot going on. We are gonna get to everything. Caitlin Clark, did you turn down $15 million? Oh, that's a boss move. Oh, that's a crazy boss move. That's a...
Man, oh man, the world of Caitlin Clark is spinning faster than ever. And if you blink, you might just miss the latest headline, deal, or cultural shift she's causing. Everywhere you turn, it feels like there's something new. Sponsorships stacking up to the left, business partnerships lining up to the right, endorsement checks floating in from every direction. And at the heart of it all is Caitlin Clark, a player who has somehow elevated herself into an entirely different category of stardom.
Oh, Caitlin Clark, it has been revealed that Ice Cube offered her $1.5 million per game. And this is my favorite thing, is that the big three will use Caitlin Clark in every bit of their promotion. But you know, Rachel Demita quote tweet something about Caitlin Clark and she lost her job. Let's never forget that.
One that transcends the hardwood and stretches into the realm of cultural influence and economic power. We're not just talking basketball anymore. We're talking about a brand, a force of gravity, a modern phenomenon wrapped in sneakers, and a jumper that never seems to miss from the logo.
I'm sure you all remember Ice Cube and the Big Three, and he made this huge offer to Caitlin Clark, and everyone was wondering, is she gonna, I think they said publicly, I could have sworn they said $5 million, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, for about a 10-week season, and would she take that? And then that, put an emphasis on the $338,000 that she's getting over 4 years for the WNBA, and on and on. And of course she turned it.
And if you thought things couldn't get crazier, think again. Because now the conversation isn't about the deals she's taking, but the ones she's rejecting. Yes, Caitlin Clark reportedly turned down a $15 million offer. Let that sink in for a second. $15 million. That's not a nice paycheck. That's not a bonus. That's not even life-changing money.
Caitlin Clark just made two of the most shocking business moves of the year. First, she looked a staggering $15 million offer right in the eyes and flat out rejected it. And we're going to show you exactly where that money came from and the real reason she said no. But the deal she accepted with Stanley reveals her true strategy, and it's a genius move that could make her far more than $15 million in the long.
It's generational wealth, empire-level wealth, the kind of check that could rewrite family histories. And Caitlin brushed it aside, like it was lint on her warm-up jacket. Imagine the type of power it takes to look at a stack of money taller than the Statue of Liberty and basically shrug. This wasn't arrogance.
To Caitlin Clark was $15 million for 10 games. I think the guy in the video says 10 weeks, but I can't remember if they play off the top of my head if they played more than a game a week. But yeah, think about that. She got $338,000 for 4 years in the WNBA. Now I know she makes a lot of money. I think she made $11.1 million in 2024 because of all her endorsements. I saw she just got an endorsement from Stanley, the insanely overpriced cups. Sorry to anyone who likes.
This wasn't dismissive attitude. This was strategic confidence, the type of move that says, I know my worth and it's bigger than this. The WNBA has seen stars before, but it's never seen someone redefine the ceiling like Caitlin is doing right now. The offer, for those who haven't been keeping track, came from Ice Cube's Big Three League. The original whispers were around $5 million for Caitlin to join the league for a 10-week season. Already an astronomical number when you put it in perspective against her rookie WNBA salary of just $338,000 spread out over 4 years.
15. Woo! After 50. It started at 5.
Right.
But the official final offer was $15 million for 10 weeks. He must be making some good dough, and I just think that it was more like a league thing.
She didn't want to be
anything.
Yeah.
She had to give the WNBA
and I'm sure many offers came to her, especially after that. I think we helped her
make more money.
with some more money. If anything, you got a name like Ice Cube offering you $15 million on publicly, man, you got all that. That's all you need.
But the talks didn't stop there. The number ballooned, tripled, until suddenly, $15 million was on the table. That's $1. $5 million per game if you break it down. A salary that makes most NBA role players look underpaid, let alone the comparison to her WNBA contract. But here's the kicker. Caitlin said no, and that no changed everything. Think about it. For decades, women's basketball players have been fighting tooth and nail for respect, for recognition, for fair compensation, for a slice of the pie. Then Caitlin comes along, casually flicks away an offer that dwarfs anything women's sports has seen before, and in doing so, she resets the entire market.
$15 million. That's life-changing money for anyone, let alone a rookie athlete. So where did this unbelievable offer come from, and why on earth will Caitlin Clark turn it down? So the offer, as you guys can see in the article on the screen, was from the Big Three, the 3-on-3 basketball league founded by the one and only Ice Cube. And the first offer was already huge, a cool $5 million ball. But in a sign of just how desperate they were to get Clark, they tripled it, blowing it up to a massive $15 million. And get this, it wasn't for a full year. It was for a 10-week season. The pitch was simple. Come play in the Big Three, be the undisputed star, cash a paycheck that makes most pro basketball salaries, men's or women's, look like.
That $15 million isn't just a number anymore. It's the new baseline, the floor for what Caitlin considers worthy of her time. Every endorsement company, every league, every sponsor now has to measure themselves against Caitlin's "nah, I'll pass" moment. That's cultural power. That's market-setting dominance. And it's not just about the money, it's about the narrative.
2 hours ago, Stanley posted this to their page. It's a clip and then shows a basketball coming up, and then at the 22 mark, it turns blue. The numbers turn blue. So here's the blue 22, and at the bottom it says clocks ticking, history hits at 22. Which is funny because when I saw it, it's only got like 276 likes, not very many comments. People in the comments are like, what is this? Well, as a resident Iowan, I'm here to say I think it's Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin has mastered something far beyond basketball. She's mastered the art of being the headline. Whether she's draining logo threes, signing endorsement deals, or in this case, rejecting an empire-level paycheck, she's commanding attention. ESPN runs emergency segments. Social media lights up like Times Square. Talk shows spin it, as if Caitlin just discovered a new element on the periodic table. The world watches not just what she does, but what she chooses not to do. And that's where the real genius lies.
Sure. Just United Front was determined this morning that we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. That really needed to be mentioned.
She's like, why are you even mentioning this? And the answer is because everybody is pissed in the WNBA at the fact that Caitlin Clark is famous and is making them all richer. And you want to talk about a zero-sum mentality? That right there is a massive zero-sum mentality. Truly insane. She's making you your money. That is what Caitlin Clark is doing. So continue along these lines, ladies. Continue trying to basically body check Caitlin Clark every time she comes onto the court like it's a hockey game. And
Caitlin doesn't have to scream. She doesn't have to beg for attention. She simply moves, and the world tilts toward her. Now put this next to Angel Reese. Just months ago, Reese was proudly positioning herself as the face of the new era of the WNBA. She was the one saying she brought the eyes. She was the one leaning into the spotlight. She was the one calling herself the ratings magnet. And for a while, it worked. She had the headlines. She had the viral moments. She had the energy of a cultural storm. But storms pass. And when the dust settled, Caitlin Clark was still standing in the center, glowing brighter than ever. Angel Reese wanted to be the gravitational pull of the league, but Caitlin didn't just step into the orbit. She rewrote the laws of gravity altogether. Reese's campaign of "I bring the eyes" now feels like a MySpace reference in a TikTok world. Nostalgic, but dated the second something truly new and transformative arrived. The timing of all this makes it even more brutal. Caitlin isn't even fully back on the court yet. This entire media tidal wave is off the back of her business moves, her rejections, her brand maneuvers. Imagine what's about to happen when she combines this empire-building power with her actual on-court dominance. When the woman who just turned down $15 million casually drops 30 points on national television, the synergy will be unmatched. It's not just about... Now, as we shift into the second part of this breakdown, let's go even deeper into why this Caitlin Clark $15 million Ice Cube Big 3 offer has flipped the basketball world upside down. You see, when news like this drops, it's not just about the headline, it's about the ripple effects. It forces every league, every executive, every player, and even every sponsor to reevaluate how they operate. And at the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, a player who hasn't even finished her rookie year in the WNBA, but is already dictating the future direction of women's basketball. Think about that for a second. What other rookie has had that level of power? Not even LeBron James came in with multiple leagues competing for his signature at the same time. That's how generational this moment really is. Ice Cube is no stranger to making waves, but this was his boldest statement yet. He didn't just throw out a number. He sent a warning shot to the WNBA, to the NCAA, and even to global basketball markets. If you don't pay Caitlin Clark, we will. And when you put $15 million on the table, suddenly the conversation changes. It's not just about opportunity, it's about leverage. Clark now has something no rookie has ever had before, options that go far beyond her current league. That's not just power, that's control. The WNBA has always had to fight for attention and resources, but Caitlin Clark might be the first player who forces the league to bend to her, not the other way around. Let's be real, the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark more than Caitlin Clark needs the WNBA. That's not disrespect, that's just reality. Since Clark entered the scene, ticket sales skyrocketed, jersey sales broke records, and TV ratings hit levels the league has never seen before. And we're talking about a rookie. Now, imagine if the WNBA loses her to the Big Three, even for a season. That's not just a blow, that's a potential collapse in momentum. Corporate sponsors, they'd panic. Media networks, they'd scramble. Fans, they'd follow Clark wherever she goes, because right now, she is the show, and Ice Cube knows it. He's not just paying for a player, he's paying for a cultural phenomenon. This is the same Caitlin Clark who has kids across America practicing logo threes in their driveways. This is the same Caitlin Clark who sells out arenas hours after tickets go live. She's not just a player, she's an economy, and that's what makes this $15 million offer so fascinating. It's not really about basketball, it's about business. And Ice Cube is betting big that he can build the future of women's sports on Caitlin Clark's back. But let's dig into the flip side for a moment. Why this is also a test for Caitlin herself. With power comes pressure, and with money comes tough choices. Does she stay in the WNBA and grind it out, becoming the face of the league for the next decade? Or does she take the Big Three money, knowing it would instantly change her life, but also potentially make her a villain to some fans and critics who want her to stay loyal to the league? These are not easy questions, but let's be honest. Caitlin Clark is not the type of player who shies away from pressure. In fact, she thrives on it. Look back at her college career. Every time people doubted her, she came back stronger. Every time the lights were brightest, she delivered the biggest shots. This is just another test, another mountain to climb. And if history tells us anything,
that you recently made a pitch to Caitlin Clark. Does your offer to Caitlin still stand? And do you have a message for her if she's on the fence?
Yes, it does still stand. You know, if she's on the fence, you know, we can talk about anything that's concerning her. I think we will accommodate her in any way, shape, or form, allowing her to play in the WNBA. You know, the guy from Barstool's offered her $10 million to play in his rec league.